Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quick video and show you my wilderness trip plan form that I've put together for Advantage Survival. As some of you know that subscribe to my podcast, you know that I've spent about 25 years doing volunteer search and rescue service here in Pierce County, Washington. And over those 25 years, we've had a lot of search and rescue missions where we get a call in the middle of the night and we head up into the wilderness looking for a vehicle, that belongs to a hunter or hiker or mushroom picker, somebody that has been reported overdue. And, search and rescue spends hours and hours and hours looking for that vehicle. Sometimes we find it and sometimes we don't, but when we do, it's located at a trailhead. And, once we have that vehicle located and we still don't have that lost person, then search and rescue really begins. We're actually starting to look for you or the lost person. So one of the things that something that I've wanted to do is certainly put together a trip plan form that makes sense for at least Washington State, but certainly something that you can use in other parts of the country or other countries itself. So anyway, I wanted to show you this quick trip form. You can download it from my website. I'll put a link in the show notes below, but I just want to kind of go over it real quick with you. And all it is something that you're going to leave with a responsible person, someone that you trust, someone that if you become overdue from your wilderness adventure, you can trust them to call the authorities and report you overdue. So at least you have a chance at rescue, and SAR personnel can be dispatched and hopefully find you. And some of the key things on this form is just basic information, and your trip start and return info. When you're going to start the trip, when you're going to return, the transportation that you're using. I mentioned the vehicle earlier. What is that vehicle? What color is it? What kind of vehicle is it? And where'd you park it? I mean, that's huge. If you could put that information on there. If you're being dropped off by somebody, that information, when you're going to be picked up. Some other trip details that you're going to want to put in here is your general area that you're going to, the exact area, your intended route in and out, your planned destination, and maps used, and if you've ever been in the area before. Now, maps used is it's a good idea, and another tip for you, if you're leaving this with a responsible person, make sure that you provide a copy of the map that you're going to be using when you head out there, and actually take the time to highlight the routes in or out, or what your trip plans are on it. Also, there's some third-party contact information, and in here in the yellow box is the responsible person's responsibility, and this basically says if the party hasn't returned to the location noted below, location, by such and such a time on this date, call 911 and report them overdue. So there you have it. Also, what is helpful for search and rescue responders and operations leaders is just a little more information about some of the gear that you have and the purpose of your trip. Are you hunting? Are you hiking? Are you kayaking? Those kinds of things. What are you doing? And if it's not listed here, write it in. Also, the equipment that you've taken with you, whether it's the type of shelter system, rain gear, extra clothing, fire steel, knives, signal mirrors, those kinds of things, radios, GPS units. There's all kinds of things here that you can circle to say, hey, I've got this stuff with me, and you can certainly add things as you need to, and feel free to write on the back of it. The next page of the three-part form is just some more information, like if you have a satellite phone, could you give us that number? That would be great. If you have a tent, shelter, what color it is, are you taking any firearms with you, the type of radio and the frequencies, whether it's a marine radio or the FRS, GMRS, or ham radio, whatever you've got with you that you can use for two-way communications. If you could just note the frequencies or repeaters or whatever on there, could be helpful. There are certainly a lot of ham radio operators in search and rescue that can, monitor the frequency and hopefully find you if you're broadcasting, your situation. Also, are you carrying a personal locating beacon, an EPIRB? Do you have a spot? satellite messenger. There are other devices now that are like a spot device that are out there that will uplink your location to a satellite and to a dispatch center. Um, it asks some other questions like, does everybody in your party have quality rainwear and warm clothes? I mean, those are the kind of questions that help search and rescue, but it certainly will help you and hopefully get you thinking about some of the equipment that you're taking with you too. So many times we see folks that head out into the backcountry for a day hike, and they're wearing cotton shorts, a t-shirt or tank top, and tennis shoes or some really light hiking boots. And they're really not prepared to spend the night in the outdoors if they really had to. So, as you're doing these kinds of things, I know it sounds like a lot to fill out, but it can really help in a situation if you don't return. And like that car we're looking for, the vehicle we're looking for at the trailhead, I mean, that's a lot of wasted time, and that's time that SAR could be looking for you and not your vehicle. And that time, if you're injured or a loved one or a hiking companion, hunting partner, whatever is injured as well, it's just it's going to take longer to get to you if they can get to you at all. So anyway, just lots of information here for folks in Alaska and other places that use air taxis and shuttle services. Certainly there's some information there. If your destination changes or your trip plan changes while you're en route, whether it's weather conditions or the conditions of the roads or the trail systems around you, and you need to change your plan, and you have the ability to communicate, whether it's a sat phone or a text message from a spot unit, if you can notify a person and let them know the plan's changed, you can put that information here. And also, if you need check-in times, there's a spot for that. Additional information like what kind of fuel supply you have for your vehicle. Are you using a guide service? What is that information? An alternate plan, risk management considerations. For example, if you're what things could hamper your arrival time, whether it's traveling alone or glacier travel or climbing or blowdown, any of those kinds of things could hamper your arrival time. So you might list those things. Also, the color of a laser, a rescue flare laser, red, green, whatever that is. Little disclaimer there. And then it starts getting into descriptions. And the first one is person number one. That's the person that's filling out this form. They're going to fill out person number one, and the only real difference from the rest of them is that it's asking you if you're solo traveling or not, yes or no. So if this is all you're doing, you're solo person, you can leave this with your wife, your loved one, a friend, somebody that is responsible enough that you trust that can contact the authorities if you become overdue. You can leave these 2 pages with you. And a tip that I do, I'll actually fill this out and I'll leave it at home for my wife, but I'll also, with my iPhone, I'll actually take a picture of each one of these and the map of the area that I'm going. I'll actually just text it to her or email it to her also so she has it electronically. And that way, if she needs to send that information quickly to a SAR coordinator or a search manager, somebody, she can do that with, relatively, pretty easily. Now the last page is just more information. You can print this out if you'd like, but it's just asking for the rest of your members of your party. And there's 4 here. You can print as many of these pages as you want. You can put, person number 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. You can add that to the wilderness trip plan. So hopefully, guys, this has been helpful for you. Again, you can download it from the link. Go to my website. I'll put a link below. And just check it out and use it. It's cheap insurance, and it could shave days, if not several hours, off the response time for a search and rescue mission looking for you. Again, thanks, guys.